Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of Rise Urban Nation, the podcast where we share stories to help you unite, uplift, and ignite. Today, I got a special guest in the building that we diving into the mindset of entrepreneurship and wealth building with my brother Shalimar Jackson. And it's not from the group. I don't know if what the Shalimar group, what their last names was. That's not from my era, but but he's the founder of Whayle. Is that, do I say it like that?
Yeah, the Whayle Mentality.
Whayle Mentality.
Yeah.
And because we got to sprinkle soul on everything we do. And he got his brother Leon with him today. Shalimar, Leon, it's a pleasure to have you.
Oh, definitely. Thank you for having us on.
Yes, thanks. Thank you.
So one thing I got to tell the audience, some of the audience know that I went through Rise San Diego, cohort number 3. I always tell them third time is a charm. What cohort are you from, sir?
I'm cohort 7, magical 7, like you said.
Magical 7.
We had to bring that magic back.
They had to bring the magic back.
Second time around.
Time around.
That's how I'm out.
And they brought the magic back. They might think they the best, but just because they sell in the West and all that good stuff. But I know we were talking earlier. You told me Rise kind of helped you revamp this project. Like, how so?
Definitely. So Rise, going through the Rise Leadership Academy was interesting.
Yeah.
And that's choice words to say. What I'm saying it was interesting. And what it does,
for everybody, if you know, you know.
you know. And for what it does, it challenges you from day one. Uh-huh. And it doesn't challenge you in a way to back you in a corner. It challenges you in a way to say, okay, who am I and what is my purpose? And it was disbelief in the first day, like, man, I'm highly educated. I'm D1. I'm coming here just to get more game, not to be changed. You feel me? So it was more of that. So, and then in receiving information was like, I don't really know if I can be swayed. I wasn't, to be bullied. I was trying to bully, those type of things, or I wasn't being peer pressured. I was doing peer pressuring. So it was like going to this leadership class. It was more like, what are they trying to do to me? Like, who do they think they are? Type attitude initially. And as it moved forward, you really had to sit back and do some deep soul searching. And it's like, wait, who am I? And what am I trying to do to myself and for myself in the community? And so what that, bring it forward, Rise really had me look at myself, my career, what was I adding, not only the value to my family, but also to my community. And when you talk community, it's not just the people outside of you, but it's also the people you network with, the people you hang out with, the people from afar, the people you see who look like you, who's trying to move forward. So community is a lot more than people that live in your neighborhood, for us. And that's what Rise taught me. So, and then how did it help with the Whayle Mentality? Right. My brother Leon right here was he recently retired before myself and I'll let Leon tell his own story, from ExxonMobil after 20 years. And he was always look, man, we can do this. We can do something. And I was like, man, I don't know. But after going through Rise, I was like, Leon, we can do it. He was like, about time. And so I'll let Leon kind of jump in right there, how Rise and Whayle, because Leon is not a Rise fellow.
Right.
Leon actually
he has a whole different story to this.
Right. So
Leon, what I'm thinking, before we dive into the Whayle Mentality, I want you to share with us the background and what led you both to this venture into entrepreneurship with Whayle. And I know it has a different spelling than Whayle, like the story behind that.
Right.
Rise is his leadership joint.
Exactly. So to Shalimar's point, so Shalimar and I have been chatting, we'll call it entrepreneurial concepts, for a while now. Shalimar is part of another group of real estate investors. SIG is the name of our group, and we've had that now for several years. I historically came from oil and gas, more corporate America, like Shalimar mentioned, ExxonMobil, so call it Fortune 5, that made Fortune 1 at the time. And so it's coming from that structure, which I'll probably call the opposite end of the spectrum from entrepreneurship, but knowing that there's a lot of gray space in between, a lot of success I even had within the ExxonMobil umbrella was in that entrepreneurial kind of side or kind of spectrum. And so when we were sitting there thinking about, okay, what can we now also go build upon? Again, we had real estate already going. Always tapping into what are we good at, and we always land on, well, we could do anything. And to be honest with you, it's just a matter of how many hours you want to put in it. And we kind of got to this whole D1 level of, yes, we want to be good at our craft, but excellent at our craft, and not just good, not just be the supervisor, not even be the boss, but be a whale of the craft. And so we started getting into that whale mentality. It's a mentality. Got into our curriculum. And what does that mean? We live off of these 3 E's, where we start with education. And we say, look, in order to be a well of your craft, you have to build out that education. And once you get that education side, now you get that experience. And that's that battle testing back and forth. Is this really going to work? Is this not? So on and so forth. And then that last E of, once you got that education experience, now you stay locked in, now you stay engaged. And that over, rinse and repeat of that excellence is what we were after. And so we had the thought of, yes, we can be, we call it Division I in our craft, and we all play D1 sports in New Mexico State, but out of San Diego. But then also saying, no, we can go pro and more than just that. And so what else is out there? So that's where it started. It definitely got morphed into the program that it is today. Not only from some of the things that the Rise cohort taught Shalimar, which they then brought into Whayle itself, but then some of the feedback that we're getting from the people that we're interacting with, the community themselves, and what are their needs, what are they responding to today, what's going on at said JC that needs some addressing, and so on and so forth, and all in that same construct of, yes, we want to be an eccentric crowd, you want to be a whale in whatever you're doing, but how can we help that individual? I will say that we've been lucky enough to have a lot of relationships and whatnot over the years because of not only, our NIL, as they call it now, that were driven from sports, but also from our working careers. And so being able to now not only link that curriculum that makes you good in your craft from the mental aspect, but then pair you up with people that you can reach out and talk to. So do you need to talk to an agent? Do you need to talk to a lawyer? Do you need to talk to a tax expert? Do you need to talk to a real estate guru? Whatever it is, and how do you build up that circle so you are that well-rounded whale that we know you can be?
I love that. And not lucky, magical, because we don't believe in luck over here.
Right.
No, we don't.
Right.
We don't.
That's right.
Ain't no such thing as luck. You got to take it into your hands. You know.
Yep.
Go ahead, Shalimar. What were you gonna say?
That's that rise aspect, though. Is that we had to look at what are we doing and how are we doing it? And what Rise did, it made me do a deep soul searching to where I was able to be transparent and honest with my partners or Leon and say, hey, when we build this is what we got to look at. We got to look at the community different. Who is the community? What is the face of the community? What are some of the struggles? What are they truly asking for? Are we givers or are we takers, like, from the community? Are we trying to make a buck, or are we truly making a space in the community? And so that's what Rise taught me, that it has to be a with them too. Well, what's in it for me? Why do I want to give back? Why do I want to be there? What am I gaining from this as well? How am I getting my tank full to continue to pour out and keep going? So, and that goes through the emotional intelligence development through the process and so on and so forth. So, but yeah, I can keep going on how Rise. So bringing Rise to my partners, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
To my partners, bringing Rise to my partners and talking about that internal leadership and structure. And Leon was able to bring, he's like, oh man, that's extreme ownership.
Yep.
I'm training extreme ownership. So how about you teach me everything you did in Rise, and I'm gonna teach you everything I did in extreme ownership.
Yep.
And what we do now is we have a iron sharpens iron. So really what we did, and by building that program, the Whayle Mentality, it's really deep. We went into, I know Rise, it really had me scratch the surface, but getting together with Leon, we turned the Whayle Mentality into an NFT.
What?
It's a collective. Okay. It's a membership community. that allows
Right.
you access to all the people that Leon just named, as well as access to our events and our socials that we throw throughout the year, and social events, also golf tournaments. We also host events every year down in Art Basel in Miami, in the Central,
Yeah.
down there. So it gives great space for people to rub elbows, to be part of a group, to where, at one point people were like, well, we're not sure. We don't know what these NFTs are. Well, what
Yeah.
we did is we created a lane and a highway for NFTs to not only to be a collectible value of artwork, but now it's a membership and it's my ticket into spaces that I normally wouldn't get in for people
Mhm.
that look like us.
Yeah, the beautiful thing I love that you did about that, because I've been talking to somebody lately about building community around NFTs, and you can naturally build community and equity in that community by allowing them to attach to a particular NFT, and
There you
that
go.
holds a value
Yeah.
and allow the community to move forward.
And what we did for our community is that we created the NFT from start to finish. So we set the value. We set the
Mm,
value at the lowest value almost possible. So we made sure everybody could get in at the time while it was hot. Now that cryptocurrency is taken off again, their
mhm.
value now has went up on their NFT and everything
Right,
else. So they're not only that their monetary investment that they made to themselves, I say not to our company, but to
right.
themselves for the access as well as the availability. They now have
Hmm.
the value of that artwork that they had, that they got in at, say, Leon, I'm not sure the ETH, but I know it's like $75
Yeah, I think
in
it was
USD,
Right,
0.045 at the time. But to your point,
right.
0.045
it
ETH.
was definitely much less of a I don't know, like a buy this stock, so to speak, and
Hmm.
watch it rise. What our argument is it is an access point to a piece of curriculum, medicine, just wholesomeness that everybody needs. It can't be offered to everybody, so you have to find a way to limit in some way, shape, or form, and memberships in general, how that's done. But this is the aspect of what you just brought up, Taryell, around the. But if you are a member, now you have equity in it. So if it is bringing you good items, if it is bringing you, good substance that you feel like, yes, I can pass on to somebody else might value it more. So investor, whatever it looks like, it can go up in value. If you don't get anything else other than just some goodwill mentality, and it's just
Mm-hmm.
a digital serial number that you store on your nightstand, fine, that's still well worth it. But yeah, the
Yeah,
argument is it can be more, especially in the scenario where we're trying to give a wholesome product and allowing the NFT to
yeah.
be that access point.
Like I love this. It's making me think about because there's another company out there called Masterworks, and they do a very small, minute version of what you do, but just with art. They allow people to come in on this NFT for art, and they have it at a certain value and use it as a stock market, and you can make money as
Right,
the art as they appraise the art, and it goes up, and you can just keep making money, or
right,
you can sell it. So I love how you're expanding upon
right.
that and making it just for our community. Um, when you talk about community too, let me dial back just a little bit. Like when we say community, what are you meaning when you say community? And then I love the term D1. And we're talking specifically D1 in entrepreneurship and wealth building.
Right.
Looks like that's your focus. Why, what does community mean to you, and then why did you choose entrepreneurship and wealth
Yeah.
building, specifically being D1 and that those two areas for the community that we're speaking to?
Right. So,
You
go
go ahead, Lee.
ahead.
I'll let you go first.
All right. So real
Okay, so
quick, the to answer the first question around what do we define community as? So community are the circles that we're in. I would say I'll call it on a regular basis, whether that be in the corporate world, whether that be in a prison setting, whether that be in a school setting, whether that be on a sports field, so on and so forth. That is our. But a lot of it comes down to who can we reach? Because I'd argue that somebody in your community is somebody that you can reach. Your message might be a little different, your delivery point might be a little different, but this product is something that can span every demographic that you can name. So one, from a community, I'd say it's who we can reach, and so there are
with
some
access.
elements. Yeah, there are some elements that do adjust and tweak. And then so you say, okay, so now what do we want to do with those communities? And our argument was we wanted to say Whayle was around wealth building. Now, what we didn't do is define wealth. So I normally call wealth currency, cash, dollars, whatever kind of, but wealth can be goodwill to some people. It could be time off with their family. It could be, there are a lot of different pieces of wealth. And so wealth, I'd argue is that utility that you desire for. So whether it be, time off, whether it be spend time with your kids, if that's the element you want to go to, now you want to be a whale in that item and build that wealth. And so how do you do that? Is kind of what we were tapping into. Again, whatever community
Correct.
can actually reach. Shalimar.
And to touch on that, just to expand a little bit, like just a little bit. So when we say that community, we wanted to make sure it's important for us to understand that we are, it's obviously, you look at our website, we're a Black business. We are a Black business. But like I say, we are imperative to have you believe and know that we believe in the curb out method in our delivery. Are you familiar with the curb out method, Taryell?
Nah, break
Okay,
it
the
down.
curb out method. The curb out method is, we all understand that in the 60s when curbs were created for sidewalks, that there was no etching out of it. It was just straight curb, straight sidewalk. So in order to assist the handicapped to get onto the sidewalk, they started to curve out the sidewalks to get up onto the sidewalk. But not only did they assist handicapped, they assisted bike riders, skateboarders, small children, wheelchair people. So I can go on with the people that was benefited when you thought you were assisting one community of people. So when you're talking the Whayle mentality, we're talking the curb out method. Yes, we're Black and we're going for our Black men and women to really strive for wealth. And what is wealth? Wealth is what it is to you, like we said, to where if you're struggling in your mental health, we have mental health providers for you. If you were struggling, and it's not, and when Leon says it specifies who can we reach, that's why if you look at our Instagram, we're at 19,000 followers. And if you see, we're at all, like mostly people of color, but all race, creeds, and color when you look through our Instagram, because people are reaching out for help and they see genuine experiences in those areas that are lending a hand to say, look, we can bring you forward. We'll provide the tools, but you'll have to use them. And that's key right there. And that's uniform with having a Whayle mentality, is that we can't build up your pockets, but in the process, if we can build up that thought process, that heart, that ego, and everything else will move forward. And I said it in the beginning. So important. I don't know if it was recorded, but discipline equals freedom.
Say it again for the people in the back.
People in the back, brother. Discipline equals freedom.
Right. And I think that's where that education piece that you talked about comes in, because I think, we as, especially in our Black communities, we have to have the education so we can, build up that mental capacity so that we can be well.
But what is education? What is education, Taryell?
Access to information.
Boom! Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. That's my man. Continue.
And that's in essence what you all are doing. So I love this. Give me the real quick the name. You spelled it WHYLE.
WHAYLE.
Yeah.
All right, my bad. WHAYLE. What's the significance to spelling it like that way? Like, what's the story?
Well, it's definitely a whale. I mean, so we wanted to get away from just it's an animal, yes, but it truly is this proper noun of a mentality, and so it does come a little bit of a ring. We definitely are playing off of the animal whale, and you'll see that in our logo with the whale tail getting ready to go on its deep dive after it took a nice gasp of breath of air there, but yeah, no, it's us. Like you are the whale, and whatever craft and whatever community, it's maximizing that value, maximizing that wealth in that area.
Think big. I have a grandiose thought process. It got to be grandiose. Your thought process. When people tell you think too big, get away from that person.
Yeah.
I say, get away from that person.
Right.
If they tell you, oh, you think too big, get away from them.
Yep.
They don't think big enough
Right.
because they don't have a Whayle
Right.
mentality. The ocean is huge. You telling me you want me to think the size of a pond,
Right.
a puddle,
Right.
when there's a whole ocean out there, when there's room to think and ask questions? And so another spin on it was our art designer. I will say, when we were coming up with it, he had a huge part in this. And he was like, man, the logo with this, I believe you guys should throw a spin on the name, because exactly what Leon said. And it's ironic, our designer is Black, African American. So, I mean, we had some input, to where people really believe in not only the dream at first, but the mentality behind the dream had a lot of push alone.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
I can imagine that. No, that totally makes sense, and I love it. And well, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. So, I want to dive deep, no pun intended, into challenges, because starting a venture like Whayle Mentality must have come with its share of challenges. Could you highlight like a significant hurdle you faced early on and how you navigated through it?
Yeah, I mean, I think just a startup firm, you have, the School of Hard Knocks in general, from something as small and simple as getting the LLC set up, but you have multiple people in different states, and how to get forms signed off, and where's the bank account get opened. I mean, again, it's simple from a brain scratching complexity, but it takes 2 or 3 people, a couple weeks worth of effort just to line out items of that nature. But then from artwork to website and some of the aspects ourselves, we're not subject matter experts in. So here we are trying to use our same Whayle mentality techniques on how to get up to speed, how to get the learning curve on social media. Here we are. A lot of it is some of that stuff we learned with the project. Of how do you reach 19,000, 20,000 followers when you don't have a product? How do you go and tap into the NFT market and the essential market when that's something that we're not experts in? And so there was a lot of planning. There was a lot of just shoot the ball and see how it bounces. Learn from that iteration, write it down, study it, change what you think needs to be changed, and repeat what you think needs to be repeated. And we built from there. And every time we look back, every month we look back and say, well, we got a little bit better. We backed it in the right direction. We met the people that we needed to meet. And so it's not easy. We knew that going in. We didn't know what part was going to be the tough part. But we knew if we keep on cranking, you keep on diving deep, you keep on trying to get better at your craft, be better than yesterday. You're gonna work through it.
I mean, I love that mindset, being better than yesterday. I think if people really took to that mindset, we wouldn't give up too early before we find and build that diamond or get to that next level that we need to get to.
Well, we say slow motion is better than no motion.
Ooh.
Yeah, talk about. Right. I got to give credit to Jamar Howard on that one.
Yeah.
That's our other partner. Slow motion is better than no motion.
That's a strategy for success in itself. And so let's speak about strategies and success. What Whayle Mentality focuses on education, experience, and engagement in wealth building. When you think about that, what strategies have been pivotal in achieving success within your community, and could you share like some impactful projects or initiatives?
I can just say like one more of those bars. It's like, if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, you better go with a group. And I think
he spit too much game for y'all out there. Y'all better get a pen and pencil.
And these is
gems right here.
And this is all regurgitated things that I think we took to heart. And so on that path, like you said, asking that, the hurdles haven't stopped, Taryell. And I think we've had plenty of times to say, all right, let's quit. Let's just do something else. But the need is there.
The need is there.
I think when the need is there, I think when you see a problem, in order to have a successful business, you have to create a solution or be the solution. And what we've done with the Whayle Mentality is we created the solution. And it showed just in a short time that we've been able to engage with the solution. And what is the solution? The solution is you.
That's right. Yeah, let us tap into you. Right.
Let us tap into
Man.
you.
That's right.
The solution is you.
You had to look. I had that. You had that. We
You
had
have
the
the
answers
answer.
all along. Is that what you're telling
Solution
me?
is you.
Hey,
Gotta
come on,
tap
man. Hey, Kung Fu Panda is real, man.
So you gotta tap into
Tap
self.
in.
Tap in, and then come tap in with your boy, so we can figure this thing
Exactly
out.
right. Exactly right.
You know, reflecting on your journey, which is, it seems like it's been an incredible one, just hearing how you guys have evolved, pivoted, and then also structured. You know, what's some key lessons that you learned? I know my boy has just spit a lot of gems about entrepreneurship and wealth building, especially within the Black and Pan African communities.
I think honest communication. Like I think we
Honest
have
communication.
a unfair advantage is that we've known each other, Leon and I, for now over probably close to 30 years.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
You know, from childhood through adulthood through, you know, adolescence, actually was college football teammates, you know, so we struggled, starved, ate, broke down in cars, you know, together. So you've got to be willing to have hard conversations.
Right.
And leave your ego at the door. That's easier said than done, but when you truly work on a business together and you're willing to have the hard conversations and accept it and stay consistent. And that's one thing we do. We meet 5 days a week, 6 o'clock California time, 8 o'clock Texas time, 5 days a week, holiday, rain or shine.
Yeah.
Even if we all get on the call and say, hey, we're not going to meet today, but we get on the call.
Yeah.
To make sure that we're all present each day. But what that does, that's accountability. And I can say, do I love it? No.
Yeah.
But at the same time, discipline equals, that's the honest thing. But discipline equals freedom.
Right.
I may hate to get, and I swear to you, the times that I hate to get on those calls the most is when I have the most important information to share with the group.
Yeah.
And I don't even know it.
Yeah.
So that's, I think, one of those.
You know,
go ahead.
No, I would say
I admire.
some of it has just
Go
been
ahead,
reinforcement. Like I of what we already knew. This is another example of, and so you start talking about like what has this process brought out. You know, it reinforces that hard work matters. It reinforces that relationships matter. You know, treating people the right way, not knowing how you're going to talk to them again or see them again or bump them into them again or them tell somebody else about you. All those things that we knew before, but now it's like, okay, yep, there's another example. You know, you show up to that, whatever, lunch session with that bag lunch that you don't think means much, but then you just made another person's day and you tapped into them another way that now 2 months down the road, people don't understand why you were able to get to that person's heartstrings and actually inflict change, but they don't remember 2 Saturdays ago when you took them to the taco shop just cause, right? And so those are the things that, like, again, like we knew about it. There's a lot of books on it, but you get that reinforcement when you see it in action and you see it work. And we always struggle. I always say one of the hardest questions that we get asked is, what is Whayle mentality? Like, what is it? What do you guys do? That's the hardest question to ask. But then the person that never ever struggles is the person that gets it done to them. They get it. They're like, oh, that's what Whayle mentality does. Now I see what you're talking about. Now I got the help that I needed. And I mean, if it wasn't so confidential, some of the personal touches you get, we would share a list of these texts and just responses that you hear when you're talking to somebody 11 o'clock at night on a Saturday. Can't reach out to their own coach, but they're borderline suicidal, or they don't even have anybody in their family that they can even get a second opinion on what this letter says. They never read a contract on their own. They never, you know, all these little things. That's just life skills. It's touches, but you're meeting them in the hole. You're meeting them where they're at, and you see the value of relationships. You see the value of people tapping into themselves, and what happens. Sometimes, I mean, you see change like immediately. That's the crazy one. When you see, when you just talk to somebody and then that exact same day they have a better game, the exact same day, that's like, look, at least when you had to go to the gym, it took you a month or two before you saw your strength get up. No, this stuff, depending on what it is, it hits them the exact same day. And that's when it gets fun.
Exact same day. I like that. you know, this conversation is so timely. You know, sometimes I mentor, and then also I'm thinking about, you know, young folks growing up today, whether they have a male figure or not in their life. They were talking about, these young folks were talking about, you know, I don't get that guidance from the OGs like that. Like my dad does not teach me, or like you know, these honest, heartfelt conversations, because he's
Yep.
in survival mode, right? Or I might not have a father figure around, right? So what I'm learning about this, and I'm speaking about myself too at times in my younger years, is I only had the streets, only had that circle of crew that I went to, and that's where I could find it. Only later on to find out the circle that I had wasn't a circle; it was really a cage, because
Yep.
you know those thoughts that I had were too big. Like, oh man, that's dumb. Don't you need to just
Right.
get up on this right here and do this, right? And that's how we gonna make this bread or do
Right.
this
Yep.
thing, right? And you know, and then you grow up with that as a man, and you go into your manhood not knowing how to have those conversations, those honest conversations with other men, and knowing who you could trust for the support and who you can't, because you don't know if this information is going to be used against you in some
Right.
way to tear you down, or oh, you soft, man, you weak, all right, I'm a
Mm-hmm.
handle this brother this way. And I think there's a bigger conversation to have around that, especially for us as brothers. Like, I mean, I know I go here now, but you know, we didn't have that before. So how did
Are,
I even
are,
start?
are,
Like, I don't
are
even know
you
what
going
that
into
looks
our
like.
next session or something, man? Because you know we have a program with the Whayle Mentality. Our DBA is called More Than an Athlete. And currently we are, yeah, come on,
Ooh.
Taryell. We're addressing that, man.
We're addressing
I
that
mean, come on.
big.
I'm telling you right now, you dreaming with your eyes open right now, player. So, hey, right now we're addressing that because that's huge. I was you was me. They were all around. Like, you understand? And that's not, like Leon
Right.
said, we can't continue to go around here acting like it don't exist. Like we weren't them. Like we weren't what's there. So right now, we actually currently have part of our business is currently in the city colleges right now. It's called More Than an Athlete, and it's exactly what it is. You are more than an athlete. You're more than a student. You're more than a previously incarcerated. You're more than a brother. You're more than a sister. You're more, like, you're so much more. And so we go in there and we build that program through emotional intelligence with those
Mm.
students. Now, at different campuses, we work with different parts of the campus and the student populations, complete student populations.
Mm-hmm.
But we work with this complete student population identified by the mental health department, athletic department, and
Mm-hmm.
teachers and faculty. So these are all students
Mm.
that they were like, hey, hey, can we introduce you to MTAA? And they were like, oh, those guys are women we see on campus and part of MTAA. And that's why I say, as the Whayle Mentality, we developed this network. We have therapists, coaches,
Mm.
mentors, in all facets, to
At
where
all
we
times.
pair you up
Mm-hmm.
at all times. When Leon said 11 o'clock at night, because what the Whayle Mentality is, and somebody who's going to see this, you can coin it, we're the reduction of agency time. What's agency time?
Mm.
Agency time is you were able to work a half day today. You were able to take half day to come and make some of the things you have important. Most of the people we work with in the communities we serve don't have agency time. They take a day off, they lose their job. They miss practice, they lose their position
Mm.
or their scholarship. They miss class, they may fail because they need every day. So to make a 5 o'clock
Mm.
or a 2 o'clock or a 1 o'clock appointment with a professional midday, it's just not going to happen for our community. And when I say our community, I mean community. So what
Mm.
More Than an Athlete does is that we increase the reduction of that agency time. Because who are you going to
Yeah.
call besides 911 at 9 p.m.?
Right.
And I ain't calling the
Yeah.
police.
Right.
Yeah, definitely
Like, you know
not.
what I'm saying? Like, but I'll call Taryell if I know he's gonna pick up, or at least I know he's gonna get the message and call me tomorrow. First
Right.
thing. You get what I'm saying? I'm gonna call Leon. I'm gonna send Leon a quick text. Yo, I'm struggling tonight. You available? He already knows Leon go to the gym at 4 o'clock in the morning. So if you ask, you're going to get woken up at 4 a.m. because I'm calling now.
Yeah.
That's the relationship. And we have another one, man. Oh, man, I hope the digital world is out there writing this down, because I'm giving you our MTAA bars and Whayle bars. You got to connect before you correct.
You have to.
Ooh.
And a lot of the times people enter these communities with all correction and no connection.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Everyone wants to have a plan for a community they never stepped foot in. They wrote an essay on it, though.
Yeah.
they walked around it.
But then
You know what I'm
never
saying?
connected to it.
But never connected to it.
Right.
So that's the importance of what we do, is that we build that connection before we start any correction. And that's the Whayle mentality. How are we going to do anything together if we can't break bread?
Right.
You had me over here thinking about just how in our society and government, they had the nerve to call it a correctional facility. And
think about it.
Think about it. Yeah.
And then they got we want to reduce recidivism and get people back in the community when you have a correctional facility with no connection.
Right.
It's more of like a
Exactly.
disconnection.
And that's what it is, though. And I think I'm going to give you first opportunity to coin that, the disconnection facility. Because once you get there, you're not connected to the facility. You're not connected to the community. You're not connected to your family. You're not connected to optimal resources. It's the disconnected.
We disconnect you from life and all the possibilities of it. And so what's left for you to do after you get disconnected?
Trying to survive.
Come back. I mean, in high statistics, come back so broken, it's hard to make new connections.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
This is deep. All right. I don't do the Joe Rogan type podcast. So
we
so let's do this. As we wrap up, one, this has been enlightening. I love this. I love the bars you dropped. To hear your journeys, your insights. Drop those projects again. What the projects you got coming up, and where can our listeners connect with you and learn more about Whayle?
Yeah, definitely. Shalimar, go ahead.
Some of the projects we got coming up right now is that, like I said, right now we're coming to the start of the school year. We'll be in the County Office of Education, City Schools, working with the younger population. We're currently projects is working with we're in 2 junior colleges in San Diego, but we're trying to get in all 5 to make sure we're working with those populations. Another one of the projects that we're currently working on, I mean, we can go into real estate and development, some of the big Whayle projects that we're working on. And we would love to share those with the community and so on and so forth. But yeah, go ahead, Leon.
Yeah, and I'll say the website, www.whayle, WHAYLE.io, is where we'll keep that running list and keep everything fresh. But like Shalimar mentioned, not only some of the Whayle mentality, more than athlete specific programs and whatnot, but we have a lot of partners, and even Rise, for instance. Rise might say, hey, we need to get this out to this Whayle mentality network community, and that's our job, is to get that out. So not only our stuff, but also some of those partners out there that are also on the same initiative.
Yeah.
Please.
Can I get into it?
Definitely.
Can I get in?
Get your access point. Believe that.
Oh, God.
Yeah, exactly.
Y'all heard it first. They said your boy could get in, so we about to win,
honestly,
y'all.
I like to invite you, Taryell, before we wrap it up, set a schedule to where we can run it back on the Whayle Mentality podcast. And I kind of want to know how you got into this after Gen 3, going through that of the Rise community and so on and so forth, because I believe it's all about relationships, and I wouldn't have this relationship with you if it wasn't for Rise. Right. It built, meeting people from different sectors and things like that in order to grow. I'm one of the projects that, and I'm gonna put it out there. It probably shouldn't be out there. I don't know if we're out of time. I see we're at zeros. But I know one of our Rise fellows, Shirley Baxter. I don't know if you know Miss Shirley Baxter. She's with. I just pitched a project with Miss Shirley Baxter for the Whayle Mentality to do a huge project in Carlsbad. Hopefully, here with Miss Shirley Baxter after she get back from South Africa, a drone project for the BIPOC community, but make it nationwide. So yeah, we're running it up, man. So the Whayle Mentality is trying to spread amongst the Rise community and run it up. Make change out here.
That's that's my initials right there. Rise Urban Nation run, and we trying to run it up from here on out. So we gonna run it back. We gonna do all the puns, and we gonna just drop these gems and these resources. Don't worry, y'all. If y'all driving, I'm gonna get all the information from them. I'm gonna get their bio, their links, the websites, whatever y'all need to connect with them. So if you're driving, don't worry. I'm gonna put it in the show notes and the links so y'all can easily connect with these brothers, and then y'all can get to catch me as we run it back on their podcast. Thank you, Shalimar, Leon, for sharing your wisdom with us today, starting this wonderful project. Listeners, remember to subscribe to Rise Urban Nation podcast. Share this episode. Stay tuned for our next inspiring guest. We're out. Peace.